Hi everybody, this is Pierce, aka Haifeng. I'm on the Midgar Stormer server on Final Fantasy XIV. Joining me here is the Link Shell Basil. They're just a bunch of really nice players out there to help out people learning the game. I wanted to demonstrate the level 30 dungeon Haukke Manor. Um, this is kind of considered the first one where the gloves sort of come off. You're expected to have learned the game by now. A lot of people have their advanced jobs equipped. It's not going to be as straightforward, but it's still relatively easy. Okay, so yeah, we start off with our protect. That's an AoE, so you only need to cast it once, and it gets everybody. And we're starting here with this patrol. I've asked our tank not to stun her out of her AoE here. I wanted to show that off. See that big circle? Anyone caught in that circle, if she successfully launches that attack, is going to be neutralized for about 10 seconds and unable to do anything. These patrols, they'll wander throughout the dungeon and they're pretty much designed to sneak up on you, and they'll hit you with that AOE stun, and they can give you a bad time if you let them sneak up on you. From this point, this is an experienced party. They all know what to look out for, and our tank will be stunning these maidservants when she finds them to stop them from pulling their maidservant shenanigans on us. So, um, let's get right into things. You can see me casting Stone 2 here. Once you get Stone 2, there's not really any reason to use Stone 1. Stone 2 is just better, and you can sometimes sneak in some arrows if you like. Arrows is actually nice. It's good to have that damage over time, also called a dot, on the enemy. But you have to be wary when using it because it does give you a global cooldown, and you will be helpless for the duration of that, unable to act for about a second and a half. And shit can hit the fan in a second and a half. So do be careful. Just be aware that you won't be able to act for the next second and a half or so. So we are healing out of cleric stance. When we want to deal damage, you'll see me switch into cleric stance. I should be coming up right here. This is a post commentary, by the way, so I'm going a bit by memory. There we go. We switch and we attack with our stone 2. I am using macros, which allow me to attack my target's target. You can find a lot of videos of that online, or I might show you some later if I get around to it. But yes, my attacks will attack the tank's target, so I can keep them targeted this entire time. It's a lot safer, and I'm just chipping in some DPS, and it's gonna speed up our fights and improve the quality of our run. This is how you act. This is how you be just more than just a healer. You know, but I am prioritizing healing. When I see that HP bar drop below what I'm comfortable with, I focus on healing and I get that back up. And it is up to you to kind of watch and learn the and synchronize with your group and see how much they can take without your active healing. I know this is an experienced, swarthy crew, and that they can handle themselves. Um, and so I can let that HP drop a little further than I might an unexperienced tank. Um, they're dropping enemies fast. They're all coordinating on single targets. Um, and their white mage is just chipping in some help now and then. Um, so yeah, you can just kind of watch here, see these rotations. What passes as a rotation? It's not really much. It's not an official rotation, and I'm just acting as I'm comfortable here. I might make a few mistakes, but this is simple stuff. Sort of. It might seem complicated at first, but that's why I'm uploading this. Um, so here I am reminded that I could have used Fluid Aura as well. You white mages will have an attack called Fluid Aura, which knocks enemies away and stuns them. You can use that to stop monsters like this maidservant from casting their area effect stun. I don't use it. That's actually a personal weakness. I shy away from Fluid Aura. Right. So let's continue this dungeon and see how things go. Um, by the way, I want to apologize for the quality of this video and my missed Asuna there. I just let poor Hakure suffer from poison, like a terrible white mage that I am. But yeah, sorry for the low quality here. This is my first time using what I'm pretty sure is OBS, and if I remember the name correctly, I'm under the influence of a little liquid courage to get this video through. Sorry for that. Um, but yeah, here's our work. you might notice me from time to time canceling spells. You can do that just by taking a step forward. If I change my mind, I don't want to shoot stones right now. Oh, here's an important part. This hallway coming up here, there are several patrols. I'm just marking this so we can all see. You'll generally want your tank to pull this little mob of monsters here over to this area roughly. And this keeps us safe because this hallway, I've seen a lot of parties wipe on. You can get swarmed. There are several maidservants, and they can stun you, and you will get swarmed by mushrooms and bats, and you will be in for a bad time. So yeah, you can see I usually start healing around the 50% mark for Charlotte's HP. That's where I'm comfortable. Um, every once in a while I let it drop a little lower. Also, I think during this entire dungeon, I don't really proc my free cure, which allows you to cast Cure 2 for free, as you might guess by the name. Uh, it's generally not recommended that you use Cure 2 raw. It takes a lot more energy than it's worth, but in an emergency, it can save your butt. Uh, but since I'm mostly holding off to cast it, and if it's free, and I'm not getting those procs, I go through I think this entire dungeon using exclusively Cure 1 for healing. Um, I might occasionally shoot out, as you may have seen, some eye for an eye. If your tank is getting hit by multiple targets, and that's when it's good, there's definitely a part later on where I show that, you'll want to use eye for an eye. It is a buff on them that causes a probability cast of a debuff on the enemy, if that makes sense. Enemies hitting them have a chance to start dealing less damage, pretty much. That's the simple part. The more enemies hitting them, the more chance that someone's going to be affected by that. You can use it in a single boss fight, but you're not going to get as much bang for your buck. But it's got no cast time. It's pretty much free. Sometimes I just pop that out. Okay, so here we are. We're going with our stone and arrow. I lead with stone and end with arrow. Um, I don't know. That's just always been my preference. I use the spell with a cast time first and then go with the instant cast. I think that during that amount of time that it takes for the final spell to take effect, you're just going just a wee bit faster, I guess. Okay, so our battle continues here, and my video pauses for some strange reason. I hope it's not doing that in the recording. Okay, so here we are. We're going into our boss fight. Hopefully we didn't unsync too badly here from my commentary. But yeah, I'm going to stand in a somewhat dangerous area just so that you guys can get a good view of this. Um, you you typically do not want to stand in front of the enemy, be you a DPS or a healer, um, because all bosses will have this passive attack attribute called cleave, which allows them to hit you in addition to the tank. Even though they are hitting the tank, they will hit adjacent targets as well. So here I take the chance, I will sometime here, to fire off a stone and, watch that damage there. I believe that was a critical actually. Yeah, I'm firing off stones outside of cleric stance, and so you can see the difference in damage. That was 93 compared to 160 about. Yeah, and so that is a very significant increase in damage from cleric stance. It's very nice to use. And if you compare that to the healing loss from healing in cleric stance, well, you should see that here if I haven't done it already. You don't lose so much, just so you know, in an emergency, you can fire off a cure in cleric stance. What was that, 371 versus 183. Okay, so you heal about half. It's actually not good, but you can do it in an emergency. But what you should see there is that it's not very worth it to be attacking outside of cleric stance. I mean, if you've got nothing better to do and you don't feel safe switching into the stance, you might as well. This is pretty much a penny saved is a penny earned, somewhere along that level of value, I guess. Oh goodness, my video keeps on dropping and I really don't know what the deal is. It seems like OBS is just having issues. So, sorry for that. Hopefully we're not missing anything important. But yeah, the summary of what I was trying to get across with showing you that boss fight was that you can you can deal damage outside of. Oh, I'm sorry. Your damage outside of cleric stance is crummy. Your damage inside cleric stance is strong, and vice versa for your healing. Oh goodness, this video is still holding still for me, even though uh, I don't know what's wrong. Okay, so yeah, we're just going to cut a lot of that lost footage out, where you can only hear sound, except for you won't hear any sound because I should have all that turned off. Sorry about that. Again, this is my first time using OBS. During that break, I looked up some instructions and I see what I did wrong. So yeah, hopefully future videos will be at higher quality and no interruptions. Oh, you can see there's one of those surprising handmaidens with their shenanigans, trying to sneak up and stun us. Do remember, even if you don't think you're going to be able to stun those, get the heck out of there. Run away. Um, and again, that would have been a point where I could have saved everybody with Fluid Aura if I was on the ball, but I wasn't. Yeah, you'll see this swarthy crew here. They pick back up and they take care of business. All right. Looks like our video's getting a little choppy again. Sorry again for this not being the best. It's gonna mostly just be used to help out friends, and as I get better with this software, I'll be shooting more videos and better videos. But I just wanted to get this one out because I have some friends coming up on this dungeon. Okay, so around here, we should be coming up on 2 more bosses. These are 2 bosses you fight at the same time. They will be called the Jester and the Steward, I believe. And I'll go into more detail when we fight them, but you want to focus on the Jester more because he does more damage. The Steward is just he just kind of does some useless AoEs. I don't even know if they do damage. I'm going to be honest. I should look that up sometime. So yeah, here we go. We've got ourselves healing. I want to show here. This is a mistake you can make. See how I'm healing myself here? That is something healers do a lot. It is easy to automatically target yourself and start spamming heal, and you're watching the tank's HP going, why aren't they going up? I'm healing and the HP isn't going up. Somebody help me. Yeah, just be careful. Um, Thank you again, choppy videos and terrible handling of OBS. I really wish I'd done more practice there. But yeah, just be careful. It's very frequent. People often target themselves and start spamming heal and wondering why the HP isn't going up. You see that happening, make sure you check your targets, see who your clicker's really on. I chose a nicer time to do that. I mean that unironically. I knew that Charlotte would be able to take some damage if I just acted like I was stupider than I really am, because it's all a ruse. I'm secretly actually not very stupid. It's true. Okay, so here you have us throwing on our help, casting our stones, keeping an ever watchful eye on Charlotte's HP, switching into cleric stance to heal her up, and then we switch back in to start throwing rocks. And yeah, I know you might seem a little disappointed if you're a white mage and your strongest attack is throw a rock. Keep in mind, in version 1.x, there were classes whose strongest attack literally was throw rock. Not stone, not a spell. You could just throw rocks. No, it's a fun side story that I'm not going to go into. Anyways, yes, stone 2 might feel disappointing, but it is a solid attack. It's simple. You just hit him for a lot of damage, a relatively quick casting time, and you get in and you get out and you do your job. Alright, looks like our video is lagging once more. I almost want to just cut the recording from here, but I do want people to see the final boss fight, and I really hope it works. By the way, this video looks to be, you'll be able to see this, it's almost half an hour long. Maybe this was really starting to drain on my PC's resources, I don't know. You can usually expect a dungeon to last about half an hour. Oh goodness, this is unacceptable quality. It's already 9 o'clock here, otherwise I would totally go back and just redo this whole dungeon. Sorry, by the way, I know I've got a lot of friends who are going to be watching this. Sorry it's so disappointing. Fortunately, you'll be the only people watching this, because it's awful. Look at this. Oh, I can tell that the boss fight has already started by the music and the sound effects. These two, it's just going to be a giant imp and a skeleton, and you just beat up the imp. Of course, if you're healing, you don't need to worry too much about that. You've got your stone 2 target macro. Oh, goodness gracious. Alright, I'm gonna leave here again until the video starts back up. I'll just cut out and come back in. And we're back. Looks like the video was polite enough to take us to pick back up right at the final boss. We're at Lady Amandine. Let's pray OBS decided to work for us, because this is an important fight. It's pretty tough. Um, okay. She has a similar deal to the Handmaiden. She can do those AoE stuns, and your tank will usually be staying on top of that. Her big gimmick is going to be that she will light 4 lamps in the corners. These giant purple lamps, and it is up to the DPS and even heals. Sometimes the tank can do it to turn off these lamps. Each lamp is going to be dealing room-wide AoE damage. You can see that right there in a convenient pause. So I'm running down there to turn off my lamp, and as everyone else is doing, and go right back into healing and DPSing when it's safe. During boss fights, you can usually find a rhythm where it is safe to start dealing damage, but until you find that rhythm, um, you know, you might choose just to deal damage without it. Again, it's pretty crummy damage, but it's more damage than no damage. Technically infinitely more. Alright, so ads start spawning around this phase. I believe we are in the second or third phase even. Remember to keep an eye on that lamp. And this eyeball friend here, he actually has the ability to make her invincible, I believe, or at least severely reduce her damage. So you're generally going to be having people targeting that eye. And make sure everyone's alive. Damage starts getting all over the place. You might use your Medica and AoEs. It can get a little chaotic and hectic here, but again, these guys know what they're doing. We all keep we keep a level head on, and just soldier on through. Beat her down, kill her eye friend, kill her handmaidens if you want, and we will see Lady Amandine sing her swan song here momentarily. I was actually trying to get into that stunt to let people see what would happen and see how overconfident I am at this point. Okay. So our fight is just wrapping up. I'm so glad that OBS decided to be nice and at least let us have this much. And thank you all very much, whoever's watching this. Hopefully just a few of you, because it's pretty embarrassing how terrible this video is. So, yeah. Cool. We ended that with our sweet, fantastic ranged DPS limit break, where you have a giant laser crossbow. Because, all right. So thank you everybody. Thanks so much to the Basil link shell for helping us out. Thank you OBS for being free, and I'm sorry I can't properly use this tool. You can expect much better videos in the future, I promise. But yeah, here you go. Thanks for enduring my terrible work. Goodbye, everybody.